racing underway with a beautiful start down on the inside line. Love the rider discipline here today. I don't think we've seen a false start, so congratulations, riders. And the way the light system starts is just so clear for them now, where you build up. You're not getting that instant opportunity to have a start. You're actually seeing it build up with all of the 5 lights, and then the 5 lights go out. So that's why you can hear the revs building up to a perfect crescendo, and then away they go. So you're not getting those false starts, which have at times been a controversial way to see somebody get that split-second advantage. And in road racing, that can mean everything. So great starting now, and well done to all the riders. Oh, watch it through Pepsi Max. 4 wide through there. Great to see. But I tell you what, all out in front for the Gav Beltmire show. Look how good this man is. The Coleman Suzuki mechanic extraordinaire, GVR, Gavin Beltmire Racing, in superb form. But then I'll tell you what, it was the Jacob Stroud led quartet through there. In fact, really, you want to give the other riders some credit, because I tell you what, it wouldn't even be a bad race to be in last place at the moment. That's the worst 4-letter word in the dictionary, of course, last. And you've got a opportunity there to see that there's a sort of a 1 of Gavin, then there's a little 2, but then look at those next 4 all over each other like a rash as they come to fight out for the glory. After all, this is a TD, the Superlight TD, as Gav Beltmire takes a break out in front. And go back to Jacob. So Jacob Stroud looking all the class there at the moment as we go back to Matt Hugenbosom, Max Olsen, Johnny Lewis, and going to Rod Gibson, and then to James Knowles. So love your work down here, guys. Good to see you. And of course, that's the Johnny Lewis show we were talking about. JLewisBuilding at gmail.com, the young builder from Nelson who loves his motorcycle sport. He's got a couple of different bikes that he campaigns. He's got a lovely Aprilia that he uses at the street events as well. So a young man that does very well. Of course, he was an exceptional talent for this year's Nelson street race. For the first time in its 25-year history, it had a wet day. First time in 25 years, a wet day in Nelson on the 2nd of January this year. So plagued the day a little bit, but I tell you what, came away with some amazing results. And particularly for the fact that even though the rain came and went, it actually came and went in the feature King of the Port race at the end of the day as well, and made for a decisive change of results in that one when the wet favoured riders came through in the end. So great performance. Coleman Suzuki, the home of Superlight Racing, and the man himself from Coleman Suzuki, Gav Beltmire, out in front, trying to make every break so crucial. As we get down towards Jacob Stroud, and then looking out for Matt Hugenbosom, and the work to do there for Matt on the Mum and Dad supported Nationwide Accessories, Race Supplies, Revit, Avon City, Suzuki, Triple R Superbike race team as well. So well done to Matt. And we understand that is the Andrew Rudd bike. Andrew, of course, a quality performer. Had the honour of catching up with Andrew after our Timaru round just to see what he was doing for his job, because of course that Dyno Works, which you'll see come up as a sponsor, is the South Island's #1 dyno tuning outlet, part of Honda Country in Ashburton. And to see the work that Andrew does there, and the computer set he's got him, how he works with the bikes and all of the fine tuning he does, it's spectacular to see, and it's a real art form of its own. So nice work by Andrew, and it was lovely to actually go into his work environment and just see how passionate the man is about tuning a good motorcycle, and just what power you can get out of it, where you want that power, of course, where you can do the mapping. I tell you what, there was more computer than there was in a spy office. So great to see out there to Andrew Rudd, and that's the bike that Matt is on there today. So a different machine for him, but still going for it there. The number 4 of Matthew Hugenbosom. Keen to watch out for our continued updates. I think we've got Max Olsen, the next one, and into Johnny Lewis. So Johnny, the visitor here, the man from Nelson. And he's picking up the pace a little bit on his Yamaha R450. Of course, another example of the 600cc bike with a cylinder missing, so it becomes a 450 and is a multi, eligible for super light racing. Of course, if it still had all 4 cylinders and a 600, it would then become a 600 super sport bike. So this is a good way to get more use out of the motorcycle with it coming into super light racing. So there we have Gav Beltmire out in front. There he goes, the number 3, and of course he's got the Suzuki equivalent. Then we go back to Jacob, who's got the Yamaha equivalent. And then we've got the Honda equivalent with Matt Hugenbosom. So they're all on 600s converted into 450s. We first saw it done by Chris Osborne of Aussie Performance fame, and then, as they say, the rest have followed. In fact, that even created articles in worldwide magazines about just what we were doing here in New Zealand. So well done to Chris, setting a standard of motorcycle excellence, and after all, behind Avalon Biddle with the racing here today as well at the moment. So 600 racing, Spider and Gav Beltmire set a blistering pace for the start, and I think he really does say that as an Aucklander he wants to own the TT title up for grabs in this race.
Well, that may be up to grabs, but also the New Zealand champion going into this race, Jacob Stroud, leads by 28 points. So if they finish in this position, it'll change to 23 points between the two of them. So it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to the wire. I'm sure DNF in the last race will be the deciding point. So Gavin Beltmire, if he finishes in this position, he will indeed etch away into the points lead that young Jacob Stroud has got on the Greg Percival Yamaha 450cc bike. Another lonely ride there for Matt Hugenboozem. He spent the whole weekend by himself, except when he's round the family, of course, and I enjoyed the company of some of the family last night, and having a beer and that up in the M1 Motorsport apartment. It was very, very nice. Dinner was provided as well, and that was a lovely way to spend an evening. But and I'll talk to Matt about how lonely he's been all weekend. He's still enjoying his racing, but certainly when he gets his own bike back, his Suzuki 450 next year, he will be a strong contender. And I don't know, this bike that Jacob Stroud on has won the New Zealand Superlight Championship last year in the hands of Avalon Biddle. So it's got the goods. So's the bike of Gavin Beltmire, the V-twin. Not a Pro Twin bike, of course. It's a little bit more spec. In fact, a beautiful homemade, very, very well engineered frame on it as well. It'll lose me who the thing is. Carbon fibre wheels as well. These things are so light. They're just beautiful, and so light for but not not only on the bike, but also for tyre changing. His wife Julie says that's a pleasure to use. And look at that, Jacob Stroud closes in. Would have been 15 bike lengths in the last lap, but now it's down to maybe 2 bike lengths as they apex the dipper there, going down the centre straight. I think this is a 12-lap race, is it, Neil?
In fact, just headed there on the program, Spider, and keen to do that update at the moment. TT title 10. Just the 10 lap, Spider. Just the 10 laps to cover for our Superlight 10 laps and the TT title. Tell you what, if you just want to get a comparison between the two riders, when they went down through the corkscrew, there was an opportunity to see, listen, because Jacob was on the gas that split second again before Gavin was, and that's why you see him closing right down in on this one. And I would suggest that he's about to make the pounce and will lead the next one past Gavin Beltmire. We got it. He did the hard yards earlier on, made the charge, pulled the brake, and as we watched every lap since, we've seen Jacob just close it down, closing down, and now putting the pressure on. It all is about pressure at the moment. How crucial is it for Gav Beltmire to win a title, or does he want a TT? Because he remains a chance if he wins for the overall, but if Jacob can win this race and the TT, then he's also won the overall. So that's how vital it is as far as the race concerned. And there it is, the change, and Jacob to take the advantage. Pepsi Max, and what a maximum advantage. Loving your work, young Jacob. Great to see. Jacob Stroud, ladies and gentlemen, in the lead as we head down towards Toyo Tyres and go through with Gav trying to come back on his tail, perfectly through the momentum and pendulum of the Toyo Tyres corner. Now to come up the front straight. So who's your favourite? Is it the Hamilton man? Is it the Auckland man? Here we go, Jacob Stroud from Hamilton to Gav Beltmire. He gave the slipstream. Gave the slipstream to try and get right around the outside. He may have got it again. Yes, he holds it. Oh, brilliant to see. Held along the straight. So he got the slipstream. And he just peeled right around in front. Didn't give him much of an advantage. So Gav Beltmire is hungry. He wants this one. So come on, folks. You're all a bit quiet here today. Love you to get excited. So Gav Beltmire, Jacob Stroud, they'll be counting down. Hopefully the pit board's counting them down for me. We're going to see a white flag next time. Have we done 8 or have we only done 7? Keen to look and see where we are. Here it is with Jacob. Here we go, 2 to go. Thank you, Spider. And look out for this one. Here we are with Gav Beltmire. Where's your money, Spider?
In my pocket. There's not much of it either. Well, I've been watching the lap times, and 2-3 laps ago, Jacob Stroud was 0.8 of a second quicker, so that's how he reeled in Gavin Beltmire. Then he was 0.1 of a second quicker, but we've seen some ding-dong going on. If Jacob wins this race, he's already got 28 points ahead. He will have the New Zealand Superlight Championship, and what a credit for Greg Percival for 2 seasons in a row. But that's a big if. It is Beltmire. Stroud sticks him behind and slipstreams. He goes to the outside line. Beltmire takes it into turn 1. Just 2 laps to go. We're looking at the white flag after the next race. The next lap, sorry. There's Matt Hugenboozem cruising through there on the number 4 bike. A battle going on for the minor money, and that is because between Max Olsen and Johnny Lewis. Max Olsen on the blue bike and Johnny Lewis on the, he's got a bit of fluorescence somewhere along the line in the leathers. So over to the Pepsi Max corner, the two lead bikes here. There is a New Zealand TT title and a New Zealand championship at stake here. I don't know what Jacob Stroud's got in his head at the moment. Does he need to win this race, or does he need to let it go to the next one? Thoughts are to Sean Harris, who was leading the championship coming into today. Sean had a massive injury down at Levels the other week and is in the acquired brain injury unit in Porirua recovering. I've seen Sean a couple of times this week and I talked to him motorbikes, and he is responding to some sort of mental stimulus and be able to walk around and that, and it's great to have Sean still around with us. Could have easily gone the other way. The white flag will be coming out. Here's the white flag. It is Veltmeyer. 3 bike legs and it's Stroud goes the outside line. Traditionally, Veltmeyer's always got it in this corner. Yes, that's the same it has been, but there'll be 2 bike links. They disappear out of sight behind the dome. We're waiting for them just before that half bridge coming in. And it is Stroud's in front. Stroud's in front. The last 3/4 of the lap of the New Zealand TT, and Jacob Stroud there leads. In fact, he's broken away from Gavin Veltmeyer. Maybe 6 bike lengths. They go out of sight into the Pepsi Max corner. Well, before the Pepsi Max corner, if you want to get it right on Google Earth. All Stroud's got to do is keep a good level head there. 10 to 12 bike lengths. The New Zealand TT title's going to go to Andrew Stroud and Jacob Stroud there in a couple of corners there. Veltmeyer runs it wide. Wow. It is Jacob Stroud's here, and he will win the New Zealand Superlight Championship if he finishes this corner. I'm going to look the other way, I think. I'm going to look the other way. I'm going to put a bet on it now, Neil. Is it too late? No, we can't do that. A massive battle going on there with Johnny Lewis there in 5th place, and they're reeling in Matt Hugenboozem, but Jacob Stroud, New Zealand Superlight champion and TT winner Gavin Veltmeyer. You tried hard, but Jacob Stroud, congratulations. You still got the 250 race to do as well. So, we've seen one Stroud in the, well, I say in the twilight of his career, but he already had 2 Superbikes win this season after 4 seasons off, and that is Father Andrew. We've seen Caleb racing this year. We've seen Jesse, and we've enjoyed for the last couple of seasons in and out of racing. Jacob Stroud, congratulations. You've got an 11 on your bike. You can go back to the pits and peel one of those numbers off.
And Superlight Racing brought to us by Coleman Suzuki. Buy online from the #1 Suzuki dealer in New Zealand. After all, from the city of Sales with a population base, selling more bikes, more commuters, best affordable motorcycles, best team. Only got to talk to Super Saturday salesman and Matt to have a opportunity to get a good bike. So check it out, folks. It is Coleman's Suzuki, a legendary name, been around now for many years, of course, following in the footsteps of the Coleman name from the early days of the Suzuki distributorship in New Zealand. And it's still going with that quality name. Just goes to show you what a name means so much. So thank you to Coleman's, great family, great team, and a fabulous franchise with Suzuki, a way of life. Superlight Racing, and I hope as you as a crowd look out for it, because here's Jacob Stroud. Yes, he's won a few races in his count, but there wouldn't be as many that would be as vital. And again, unfortunately, microphone just playing up just on the fringe there. So come on, folks, put it together. That's the number 11 is called by Spider Staples. Peel one of those off and come out in that final race today, because provisionally we think the title is here. So we'll let the officials do a better job than we've got, but our calculation say he now has an unassailable lead with more than 25 points a gap for first and second. So here is young Jacob. Well done, and a great ride for the young man in his first title, first of many, as people start to applaud, and purely so too. Congratulations.